Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Geek Out Championship Wrestling, the only wrestling podcast with the brown wow to do a show on a pay-per-view-ly basis. That's right. Every time WWE has a pay-per-view, we check in, talk about what's been going on, give our predictions, cry when we don't win. I am your host. With the most. Sorry, I have a thing that I'm going to say that I was focusing on that. I am your host with the most, Chris. I can like two wrestlers at once, Nolan.
Ooh.
And across the ring from me, as always, is my co-host with the co-most, Mr. Timmy C.
That's right, the undisputed co-host with the
the reigning, defending.
That's right.
Champion of the world. Best in the world, if I may.
At what I do, yes.
At what I don't know.
Hey, we're back on our old stomping grounds.
We are.
This is great. We're back at our old studio again, and it's like our old times. You know?
It's like we never left. Yeah.
Don't you? Like a little bit?
I do.
You know, and carrying these belts, it's just, it's just an amazing feeling to continue being the undisputed champion.
I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown, though.
That's true. That's true. But we haven't had an NXT event that we've done a podcast for in a while.
It's a shame. It's a shame that the last takeover kind of popped out of nowhere, and we weren't able to plan a night around it. And it wasn't attached to a pay-per-view, so like we didn't even have the opportunity of like, oh hey, it was kind of attached.
Yeah, to the one we won't talk about.
Yeah. But it was far enough away. Like I want to say it was like a week removed that it still wasn't like, oh, this is the one that's for that. Like because they always have like, oh, here's the SummerSlam takeover, here's the WrestleMania takeover. Yeah,
because my boy Scooty came to my office. He was like, hey man, you gonna watch the NXT takeover? I was like, oh yeah, that is, because it was on like a Saturday too.
Yeah, and
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So anyway, so I'll get my chance at the crown at some point.
Yeah,
of course. Overall, I thought Stomping Grounds was pretty good.
Yeah,
I was surprised. It always turns out that way. You ever notice that?
Yeah,
like we do the preview for the pay-per-view, and we're like, nah, it's probably gonna suck.
Yeah,
and it turns out to be pretty good. And I think we need to start lowering our expectations.
My favorite example of that is remember Great Balls of Fire?
Yes,
everyone was shitting on that, including us.
Oh yeah,
and it ended up being a pretty enjoyable pay-per-view.
It was.
I'm not going to say it was amazing, but definitely based on our expectations, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
This one was the same way. You want to get it started?
Yeah, we can.
All right. How about we start with that cruiserweight?
Unfortunately, I didn't watch the pre-show, so.
Well,
I hear it was really good.
If you get a chance, go back and watch that match.
I do know that our boy Gulak came off as the victor.
He did, and it was a great match. A lot of respect, from my opinion, to Tozawa.
Mm-hmm.
He was a high flyer.
He's a good catch.
He was all over the place. Tiny knees was okay. He was fine. But Gulak, very impressed.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good match. It reminded me a lot of like an NXT match. So if you get a chance, go back and watch it.
Yeah.
But Gulak was the winner. Ding, ding, ding. Well done.
Yeah.
Let's jump to one that maybe you did see. What about the Tag Team Championship, Daniel Bryan versus Heavy Machinery?
I did see that.
Yes. What'd you think of that?
Honestly, I'm having trouble remembering a lot of it. Probably because I was watching it in the middle of the night, like trying to fall asleep. But like, I was like, I gotta at least watch some of it. And I think I was working on my computer. So I remember like looking over, like every time I looked over, I was like, oh, hey, that was some good moves. And every time I heard the commentators get excited, looked up. But I don't remember anything in particular.
Well, I think the most impressive part was Daniel Bryan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, he just carries a match.
Didn't he do like a stage dive, or not stage dive, like a suicide dive?
Yeah.
Because I want to say
I
like
always cringe. I always cringe with him
Yeah.
because he's got the neck injuries
Yeah.
or the head or the concussions.
Yeah,
and
I remember. I remember looking up. Now that we're talking about it, I remember looking up and be like, "Oh God, no!"
Stuff. Yes. Yes.
Just
And
because it's him.
you always like watch how they land. You know,
Mhm.
especially him. It's like, did he land okay? Did he get up?
Yeah.
Okay, he got up. Okay, he's kind of holding his head a little bit.
Is anyone throwing up the X?
Yeah, exactly. Heavy Machinery, I thought they were fine, but Daniel Bryan definitely carried that match. And it was Bryan and Rowan retained, which was no surprise. I think both of us had them retaining anyway. But I thought it was a very enjoyable match. I have no issue with it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods, Big E against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Mm.
Owens and Zayn pretty dominant.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, I feel like as a tag team, we've seen a lot of Zayn and Owens, but I always feel like it's never stale.
Yeah, they have this great way about them of just keeping it fresh, and I want to say like they're the type of guys that are constantly like just spitballing ideas of like, oh, what can we do new, or what's a different way that we can arrange something,
Right.
you know, to at least tell a slightly different story.
Yeah, I thought they were great.
Yeah, a real like you said that like they were very dominant in it, but like really taking the New Day to task.
Yeah,
Like I want to say there were times where I was like, oh my God,
especially Woods.
Woods
took
did they
a
just like
beat down.
really hate Woods?
He took a beat down. I think both of us had Owens
Yes.
and Zayn, so that was good. Let's see if I'm trying to go in order. We've got Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was talking. My younger sister was texting me before
The one whose boyfriend watches?
exactly.
Okay, yeah, just making sure.
Yeah, Ben. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben's his name.
Hopefully you guys are still listening.
Yeah, of course. But I always just call him her boyfriend, but I
Yeah.
guess he does have a name. It's Ben.
Yeah.
But
It's like Becky Lynch's boyfriend. You know,
That's- that's
he's
true.
he's a wrestler,
that's
but
true.
does he really do anything?
He's the Universal Champ.
I have noticed that they've just been like referring to Seth Rollins as Becky Lynch's boyfriend on
Yes.
commentary. I was like, interesting.
Yeah, which
mean,
means
they've-
that they're going to set up a storyline.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Which
I mean,
kinda
yeah,
happened
they
later
set
in
up
the
enough.
show, but,
Yeah.
But yeah, so my little sister was she's all about Becky Lynch to
Yeah.
the point that
As she should be.
She wants to be Becky Lynch for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be her Halloween costume. I said,
Well, hopefully
you know,
Ben can beat Seth Rollins.
there you go. He's going to have to grow his hair out a little bit, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess Ben was convinced that Becky was going to drop the title,
Oh.
and my sister was upset about that because she wants Becky to keep the title.
Mm.
I told her not to fear that, my concern that I brought up on the pre-show was that I think they're pushing Lacey, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard to put a title on somebody that botches so many things in the middle of a match. And you saw that again at Stomping Grounds, and to me, it's kind of frustrating because you have such a good worker in Becky Lynch, and there was times that it was pretty sloppy, and I'll get into the Kofi match. To me, that was the biggest botch fest, but I'll get into that later. But this one, it was just, to me, the match was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Becky retained because I don't think Lacey's ready.
Yeah.
But they are continuing to push Lacey, so I don't know how that's going to go.
She's got that like good like arrogance about her. Lacey does, which once she gets better in the ring, like she'll be a good heel. But like, yeah, I agree. It's just there's too much that like just screams she got called up too quickly.
Yeah.
Just like what happened with Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and soon Lacey might start hurting people like Nia Jax did.
That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible. And if you remember, people were saying that about Bliss, and Bliss proved them wrong.
Yeah.
She's actually one of the ones that, I think, really, made that solid jump. Her and Charlotte to a degree, both of them have really skyrocketed since NXT. And it's a shame that there's so few examples of that. We've talked about it from the men's perspective, but from the female perspective, if Becky hadn't changed this whole character into like this badass, the man, like you and I have been asking for a long time, I think we'd be in the same boat with her, that she would be, kind of just, flailing in that middle ground. So if she didn't have that big character change, we'd be in the same boat.
Who would have thought if you just trust the talent,
Right. Yeah. I mean, she's Irish. Let her be the last kicker. Come on. So
let her kick some last.
There you go. I think both of us had Becky, so that wasn't a surprise. I don't think we had too many differences.
Our main ones. So I did pick Heavy Machinery for the tag match, and then Roman and Drew, Dolph and Kofi.
And I think that was it.
I think that's it.
Well, let me get into match of the night for me.
Okay.
Rick O'Shea against Samoa Joe. What a match. To me, and you and I kind of talked about it beforehand, that it would be one of the top matches on the card.
Yeah.
That was the top match of the night. I was just blown away. I mean, Ricochet, the moves that he does, but pairing him with someone like Samoa Joe, who's been there, done that, who definitely outweighs the guy.
And a completely different style.
But it works.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he does it, but that's what makes Samoa Joe so good, is that it doesn't matter who he's up against. He's got a style that, is kind of matches and ties right into them,
Yeah.
But I was on the edge of my seat with that match. There was near falls both ways. It could have gone either way, and I was fine with it.
Yeah.
But I was happy that Ricochet won.
Yeah. No, and it's I really enjoy seeing him with that belt, and like fucking what was it? It was like they did that whole thing where like it looked like Ricochet was done, and then like he hits one move on Samoa Joe, and like gets him down, so he's able to hop up on the ropes.
Oh yeah,
and do his little flippy shit.
Yeah,
and I was just like
630 splash or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, he's like the Tony Hawk of flips.
Yeah. And I didn't know. I saw this. I think I read this today. I didn't realize that Seth Rollins and Will Ospreay, who's one of my favorites for New Japan, Will Ospreay, who's a high flyer in his own right, have a little Twitter feud going.
I just saw that earlier today. That? Yeah. Seth has been on this tear of WWE being the best wrestling in the world, and like the other day or something like that, he tweeted something that was like, I dare anyone that's alive today to do something better, and Will Ospreay's just like, I'm alive. and Seth is just like, oh, sweetie, we have a better version of you, and he just got the U.S. title.
That was cool.
I would love to see Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. I'm sure it's been done on the Indies.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to, point me,
I'd love to see Seth Rollins against Will Ospreay.
Make the match.
Yeah. I mean, it's at some point you almost wonder if there needs to be some sort of, like, if WWE could open the door to do a crossover.
Yeah. I think that would be great. Like especially with New Japan. Yeah. Like they it's not like they're really competing.
Right.
Like sure, WWE has a Japanese market. Like, I'm not going to
for now.
Yeah. I'm not going to pretend like they aren't in Japan. But like that would be really cool. Like, New Japan is an established federation in Japan.
Right.
They're not really direct competition. Like, why the fuck not have a fun little friendly rivalry? Granted, with New Japan's agreement with AEW of like sharing rosters, right. Now that's going to be a little bit more difficult. But like, if DC and Marvel can have a crossover comic book, in the 90s, then anything can happen.
Yeah, I'd be all about it. I think it'd be fun because then you can set up dream matches without having to have everybody in the same program.
Yeah.
All the time.
You could have Chris Jericho versus anybody.
That's true. That's true. You could,
and I would watch it.
you could have Kenny Omega versus you pick him.
Yeah, you could have Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins. My God. And both of them could be using the moves that Seth Rollins stole from Kenny Omega.
Exactly.
All of them.
That would be amazing.
The Falcon Arrow. I don't think he does a one-winged angel or whatever. Right, Kenny correct. Omega says or calls
and
it.
I don't think Kenny does a curb stomp.
Yeah.
But there was somebody in New Japan that does a curb stomp that I think they originated the curb stomp.
Yeah.
That is more of like the kick your jaw on the curb stomp. It's more like straight on as opposed to how Rollins does his kind of at an angle.
Right.
This is more like straight on, like kick you right in the curb.
Yeah. I mean that's fine. Whatever. Regardless, you can moves are moves, you know, like.
Well, they're all interchangeable.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyone that like gets all butthurt about a wrestler stealing another wrestler's move, like their moves. Like you invent a move, cool, you get to name it.
Right.
And maybe you're the only person that uses it for a couple years or something like that out of like a respect, but like eventually, like other people are going to use it.
Well, and or a variation of it.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how different the stunner is from the RKO.
Yeah.
One is, you got a guy.
Well, one comes out of nowhere.
Oh, that's true.
And is very ineffective.
Although speaking of the stunner, Kevin Owens won via the stunner.
Yeah. Because he's starting to use it.
Well, and that's one of the things that I guess that was brought up by Stone Cold was that he doesn't mind Kevin Owens using it. He doesn't like the fact that it's not his finisher, like the people kick out of it. Because when Stone Cold would hit the stunner, nobody kicked out. Or if they did, it was like part of like a crazy match. It was like, oh, wow.
Well, then Stone Cold must love Aspen Rain because she uses the stunner and to great effect.
Yeah, that's true.
She's an indie wrestler.
Yeah,
she looks like a mermaid.
You know it better than I do.
I do.
Hats off to you. After the Ricochet match, we had AJ Styles and what do they call themselves? The Good Brothers?
Yeah.
So nice congratulate.
So nice to see those boys back together.
Yes, for now.
Yeah.
Congratulate Ricochet
for a week or so,
and to tell him that they would be facing off at Raw.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you caught Raw, but
I did not.
That was you don't have to watch anything else on Raw except for that match.
Okay.
That match was great. So mark that down.
Alrighty.
On your Hulu. All right. Let's see. We've got Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre.
3.
Actually, it should have been Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon because Shane McMahon was involved for a majority of the match.
Oh, so like a 2-on-1 handicap match.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
But Super Roman comes out victorious, just like you had marked for. It was just I am so bored of Roman Reigns and his moves. I'm sorry. I just
what's that wrestling fan from 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, do not get me wrong. Like, what bores me more than Roman Reigns is Shane McMahon.
That's true too. No, I'll give you that.
Which is why I leaned towards Roman Reigns for this match.
I was hoping that Shane wouldn't get involved because I think it kind of diminishes Drew. I think Drew is a really good wrestler on his own and doesn't need Shane McMahon to kind of lead the way for him. But, alas, we have to deal with Shane O'Mac. And I guess he's just not going away.
I guess not.
Because he, after Drew lost, backstage, they said that they were coming for Roman. We're coming for you. This isn't over. I still need to beat you down.
I still need to prove to my dad that I'm a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. We've got the Women's SmackDown Championship, which I thought was another good match.
Yeah.
We had Bailey against Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
Oops, I did it again. Yes. But
you're even closer to her now.
I know, and I didn't even realize it. I just, I'll just talk over her.
That's
so
fine.
She just...
That's like what we did the last episode. I don't think anyone noticed when the dot was talking for like 5 minutes because we just kept going.
I don't even know what it thought we asked it, but it just carried on. Anyway, hey, you know what? Live podcast. It happens. You know, you just got to go with the flow.
Yeah. As Triple H says, there are no mistakes.
It's true.
It's live.
It's live. Good match.
Yeah.
A
lot better than that kendo stick on a pole match they had a couple years ago.
Much better.
Yeah.
Nikki Cross got a little bit involved.
Yep.
Right. But
for better or for worse. Mostly for worse.
I tell you, man, Bliss was looking good.
Yeah.
I think she changed her ring gear a little bit.
A little bit. And her makeup.
But anyway, back to the match. I digress. I like this match better than the Raw match because it looked cleaner. And I think a lot of that has to do, and you know, I didn't realize this, but Bailey, she's won a lot. She's done a lot. You know, NXT champion, Raw women's champion, SmackDown women's champion,
tag team champion,
the tag team champions. You know, I first ever
and Money in the Bank too.
And Money in the Bank. So it's just. I'm rather impressed. I mean, hats off to Bailey. I mean, everybody talks about Charlotte
for peaking in NXT. That's pretty good.
You know, I mean, everybody talks about Charlotte, who was missing from the card, by the way. Asuka, who's fallen off, she's gone. I don't know what happened to her. You know, you got Becky Lynch.
She's probably vacationing with Sasha Banks.
There you go. Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. But I was impressed with this match. This match was fun. Bliss, of course, brings it.
Always.
I did like, while we're talking about Bliss, I know I'm jumping ahead, but I did like the fact that this pay-per-view only went to like, what, 10:15, 10:20?
Yeah, it was only like 3-ish hours long. I think 3.5 hours.
They had the Bliss.
I haven't had a chance to see that yet.
100%.
Yeah,
watch it.
Yeah, I was out socializing during the pay-per-view, so I didn't get to watch it until I got back.
At Topgolf.
I did,
playing with the
Big Dog Club.
The Big Dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Topgolf has a one wood that is nicknamed the Big Dog.
There you go. Yeah,
and of course, I tweeted.
Roman.
I tweeted it, and I was like, "Oh, Topgolf has a club just for Roman Reigns." Yeah, I think
great.
you're the only one that liked it.
Well, it's because I get you. I understand. But yeah, so I thought it was a really great match. But yes, the 365, highly recommend. You should watch it. Actually, it really makes Vince seem like, I don't know, like Vince is you know what, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I listened to the Jericho podcast.
There's moments in there where like he's talking to Bliss and he's like he actually cares, and she even mentions that she's like, I don't know where else you would find that, you know, you have a boss like Vince that says, you know what, just take another couple weeks off and just focus on yourself. And then she brought her friend to one, you know, her best friend, who has been through, you know, multiple brain tumors and stuff.
Oh damn!
And you know, she's talking to Vince backstage, and Vince is, you know, she's like, you know, Vince, this is great. You know, she got to see me. This is the first time she's ever seen me live. This, that, the other. You know, she's been through this, and you know, he was like, yeah. He was like, you know, that's really great to hear. You know, you don't understand the impact you have on others, you know, until you sit back and realize it. And like, you know, I was like, you know what, Vince, that's impressive. I don't know if you know that you're being videotaped right now for this, maybe, but you know, Vince kind of shows like a father figure side that not the creepy dad,
right?
But like actual like, you know, it was kind of cool to watch. So I recommend it. I mean, just you know, Bliss herself. She's very entertaining. She's very cool, and you see like the human side of her with, you know, getting nervous before WrestleMania, being the host of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So it's fun. I recommend it. Let's see. So that was a good match. I think we both had Bliss, but we both were okay with Bailey winning, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do we want to do... I know what we'll do next. We'll do the WWE Championship.
There we go.
cage match between Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler. So,
I will admit this one it ran too late for me, so I had to put a pause on it and go to bed. This one I was watching while at work, so I was walking away during parts of it, so I didn't catch all the details. So you might need to fill me in on.
Well, I thought the build-up for this match was really good.
It should have been me.
Right, and I think Ziggler plays a really good heel role from that perspective.
Yeah.
They were inside a cage, so it's already hard enough to see kind of what's going on.
Right.
But there was a lot of botched moves. There were some cool spots because, Kofi's very athletic.
Yeah.
And can jump from the cage and can, latch onto the cage and stuff. But I just felt like they just were off. And I wonder if it's the chemistry between them.
I mean, he's no Randy Orton going up against Kofi Kingston.
No, that's true. But I think I wanted the match to be better.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that. Even the ending with Kofi diving out of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he hits the middle rope multiple times and essentially lands on his face.
Oof.
I mean, if you watch his face as he's diving out, he's kind of got like that oh shit face, like oh no, like in his back leg kicks the top rope and he's falling out of the ring. I mean, it's a good thing he landed okay, but I just thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that we get a good challenge up next for Kofi, and I hope that challenge is Big E.
Yeah.
And it could be like a friendly match between them. Maybe Big E wins, some sort of, over the top rope opportunity to win, to go for the belt. And maybe they go in as like friends. It's like, hey, buddy, we're going against each other. May the best man win. And you've got Woods as like, what side do I pick? So I think that would be a fun way to do it. I know it's very predictable because I think I've talked to people about it, and I think that it's pretty predictable.
Yeah.
But I would be okay with that. I think it's coming to an end. I think the new day, that's how it's going to be. I got to say, one more thing about this is that when Kofi came out, he had the belt on and he had pancakes stuffed in that belt, And so he comes out and he's chucking these pancakes out of his belt. And I'm thinking to myself, if I caught one of these pancakes, ew.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what do you do with this?
I've seen tweets of people biting into them,
really?
and I'm like, huh.
Oh. I mean, especially this one where like, he's got it tucked into his belt, so he's like holding it
like
against
the
himself.
Big E ones. He has them tucked into his leotard.
He does, yes. You're exactly right. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah. Anyway, what did you think?
Like I said, I was walking, back and forth during this match, so I didn't catch a whole lot of it. The parts that I did see, were hard to catch the details of what was going on because mostly like shot through a cage fence. But yay, Kofi won.
You're upset because Kofi won. That's why I could tell in your voice. You're upset, and that's fine.
Hey man, I'm here to show the world. All right.
Oh really?
I'm here to show the world.
Come on.
Bring it on.
All right. Last but not least, Seth Rollins against Baron Corbin, with a special guest referee. Which a big deal was made. Although it was pretty funny. Rollins had the chair out. He grabs the mic. He says, I don't care who it is. I'm just going to bait him up like all the rest of them. And out comes your girl, Lacey Evans. So already it starts off like that. So you knew the screw job was in.
Yeah.
From that perspective. It was only a matter of time before Becky Lynch got involved.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the match was fine.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good bump where Seth Rollins put Baron Corbin through the table, the announce table. That actually looked like it kind of hurt.
Yeah, no, that was a good shot.
And then I did find it kind of comical that Lacey counted to 8.
Yeah.
And then was like, you know what, this is a no count.
I feel like this match would have been like a snooze fest had it not been for Lacey Evans.
I agree with you.
Like I said, like she has the workings of a great heel.
Yes.
Once she gets the in-ring stuff solid, she's gonna be good.
And as long as she doesn't trip her way into the ring too.
Yeah. But like, so her slow counts were good. The way that she was like, "Oh, I hurt my shoulder," I laughed.
Well, I laughed even more because Corey Graves was like, he was like, "Come on, Cole. She had a match earlier today, okay?"
Oh yeah, Cole egging her on.
Oh
was
my god,
great.
it was great.
And then
Graves
like you said,
fantastic.
Yeah, and then like you said, how she was like she counted. She was very reluctantly counting, and then 8. She hits 8, and she's like, "Wait a second,
right?
I can control this."
And she's like, "You know what? This is a no DQ match."
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I was a little like, huh, when she was doing the thing while Corbin was doing the chair shots, like for like a good chunk of those, like she wasn't even pretending to like, oh, I don't see what's going on, and then like she was like, oh right, I should pretend to be looking away.
Right. Yes.
But
I agree with you. I think she added an intrigue element to the match that
she
really
made it worth
going.
it being the main event.
Yep. So all good there.
Yeah.
Becky did come out.
Mm-hmm.
Makes the save.
Yeah. Then they have like an awkward 5-minute we're gonna hug, we're not gonna kiss because we're uncomfortable.
Right.
But yep, it's us.
Then
we're
a butt tap.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like puppy love right now.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
Which is good for them.
Yeah.
And
I totally respect them not wanting to get all gross and PDA, on the thing, because I would be uncomfortable with my relationship being used to further a story.
But I wonder what the next storyline's going to be.
Yeah.
Will Becky have to choose her title over Seth? Well,
they do have the mixed match at, was it Extreme Rules?
Yes.
Where it's winner take all.
That's correct. Which again keeps Baron Corbin for some reason in the main event picture.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Maybe Lacey can take this time to get good.
Yeah.
And maybe that match will be halfway decent.
Yeah. But I hope they don't drop the belts there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That would be
how awful would that be?
Devastating. But stranger things have happened. The other
Stranger
good news,
Things season 2.
Yeah.
And 3 now.
And 3, I think.
Yeah.
The other good thing that happened, going back to Ricochet, the match of the night, was that Ricochet, taking the belt from Joe opens Joe up, in my opinion, to go more
mainstream.
Put him on, that main card, put him against Kofi.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that as well.
Oh yeah, you know what? That would be an interesting him and Kofi together.
Yep. So put him in the main picture. I'm good with that. So
yeah.
Overall, I thought it was a good pay-per-view. Your boy continues the reign as GCW champion.
For now.
Match of the night was the Ricochet Samoa Joe match.
Yeah.
So champion's advantage. I hold on to that for the MVP. Yep. So I continue as the undisputed champion. I mean, Timmy 2 belts over here.
Yeah.
So that's just how I roll right now.
All right.
So we move on. The next one is
Extreme Rules.
Ooh, right, and that is July 14th.
That sounds right.
I think so. So we'll
doing my minimal research.
Yeah, I got you covered. It's we like peas and carrots. I got you covered. Yeah, something like that. So we'll do a podcast before that, and then we'll do our follow up. So this has been another fun one.
Yeah, thank you for listening to Geek Out Championship Wrestling.
That's right.
We'll see you next time.
Drinks on you, Malt.
SJY 3000.
There you go.
3000.
There you go.
3000.
There you go.
3000.
There you go.
3000.